pretending. We back on the full sense.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Yeah, hey, look what I got. New whip with no top. Cooking up no stove top. Ice cold, no snow drop. Big budget ass, big facts. Big money in the contract. Been running no contact. New record with the new tracks. Yeah, they been sending me new plaques. I don't really need new plaques. Nah, big rock with the suplex. Yeah, new rock got a new flex. Yeah, I'm current, I'm a new trend. Now boys with the full scent. Yeah, like I said, no new friends. We don't really need new friends.
Good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
The Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute.
Shit is gonna go down.
We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Would that include a bullet from this gun?
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, you ain't black.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
All normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 24 Hundo and Ochenta y Siete of the Daily Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everest and K2, flexing on all you beaches.
It's the fucking Catalina one.
It's the fucking Catalina one.
Let's fucking go. Let's zoom in. Let's get this fucking shit really sharp. Let's get a little bit even sharper. There we go. Wait. There we go. Fam, welcome to the show. It's Ask Papa Swolio Live. It is the Red, White, and Swole Sunday Fun Day. Q and Anus. So we are just taking tons of questions today. Thank you for being here, everyone that's watching and listening live. And of course, those of you that are banging your ear holes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere you do so, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, leave us a 5-star review, share the podcast with your friends. Today, if you don't know, if you're new, this is a little pivot. It's different than normal. We just go extra deep with questions. So you can start dropping your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. We got a lot of questions today. We got some calls. We got a lot of things to go into. So we're going to talk about a couple things we have coming up for this week. And then we're going to bust the nut open, get the swole card out. But drop in the comments down below what you are smashing today. How we doing, Sayan? What's going on, Dawn? We got Cerny in the house. Cerny's getting inundated with snow. How we doing, Aaron? What up, fam? How we doing, Angel? And Dawn, let's see, who else we got here? Tyler, Adam, Pedro, what's going on? Lacey, how we doing, Beaches? So drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? We do have a couple things to go over. We have the Signature Series that drops on March 11th. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Been talking about that a lot. So the Signature Series occurs. It goes down in just under 2 weeks, 13 days away, P3S6. And before Nick asks, he goes, every day, Papa Swolio. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. How sexy is P3S6? And let me just say yes. Yes. All the sexy. It's all the sexy. And for 24 hours on March 11th, you will be able to snag yours. Not only that, tomorrow, talk about new releases. Talk about new fucking shit that's dropping tomorrow. Monday the 27th. So Swole fam, tomorrow's episode will be private, 12 noon Eastern time. You could log into your account and join from the button on your homepage. We will have our live call at 12 noon. So that's all I got for you. We had a roundtable last Thursday. We have a brand new Drive While Gaining in the overtime segment on Friday. The Saturday and Sunday episodes, it's always like announcing, hey, we got a lot of shit going on tomorrow. Hey, we had a lot of shit that happened a couple days ago. So we've been really smashing it. We've been having a lot of awesome stuff. So the DWG was fire. The roundtable was fire on Thursday. All that's available in Swole TV. So if you're just joining the Swole fam now, you can go and catch all the stuff that you've missed in the last couple days, get up to speed, and then be there for tomorrow's accountability meeting. So check it all out, swolenormousx.com. Let's move right along.
He's heating up!
I'm excited. Okay, drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? Start dropping your questions, hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and let's bust the nut open and get today's party started. Here we go. Yes, you hairy taloned biche. Put some respect on it. Swolonardo, no cardio. Cheers. All right, hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. It's one of my favorite ones for the Sunday Fun Day Q&A because it's red, white, and Swole. What's better than Swole Privilege? One of my favorite shirts over at papaswolio.com. Swole Privilege. I love that tank. I love wearing that tank. I wear it all the time. So hashtag Swole Privilege for a chance to win today's Swole card. And you can start dropping your questions in the comments down below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up before we get into today's episode. And it helps tremendously. Don't underestimate the thumbs up. Everyone, where's the like police? Some of you in the comments, moderators, make sure that you are harassing one another to get that going. All right, let's see a little Tainty Man before we go. Aww. He is getting his sleepies. And let's move right along. All right, first questions. Let's kick it off. We had one from Lacey. Very good question. Very important question. I just wanted to cover it first because it's so fucking important. Lacey asks, do you have to intermittent fast before being eligible to purchase the Signature Series?
Go fuck yourself.
How about that, Lacey? How about that? Does that cover it? Does that answer your question? We good? Got it? Okay. All right, Pumpkin. Let's see. We got another question. Where did I moved it? Here we go. Saiyan Zero, Papa Swolio, do you use apple cider vinegar? Does a shot every morning wield benefits, or is it bullshit? I think it's bullshit. I don't know if it necessarily hurts you. If anything, I think it could be detrimental to the enamel on your teeth. Apple cider vinegar, like Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar, there's nothing wrong with it if you want to use it in cooking and things like that. I put a little bit in bone broth when I'm making it, put a couple tablespoons because it leaches the minerals from the bone when you're making bone broth in the crock pot, but I don't drink that stuff. It's a natural antacid, like if you have heartburn and stuff like that. But really, if you have heartburn, you should be changing your habits and changing what you're eating and changing your lifestyle habits in order to improve that, not just take a shot of apple cider vinegar. So I did that at one point. This was years ago, probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, but I don't do that. I don't have any issues from, oh my God, I feel good, but I'd feel a lot better if I took a shot of apple cider vinegar. But you can use it for a lot of things. You can use apple cider vinegar for you can use it as like a facial toner. If you break it with water, you can use it as a cleaner. You can clean countertops with it. You just have to do certain ratios. You can look it up. There's like hundreds and hundreds of your grandmother's or great grandmother's favorite recipes for apple cider vinegar. There's all those different uses for it. You could use it as a cleaner and stuff like that. All right. Let's see. Derek, Papa Swolio, is the beach overrated? Been looking at moving to Florida, and a lot of people say they don't go. Well, one, no, the beach is not overrated. I think the beach is perfectly rated, or it's underrated. The beach is awesome. Looking out at water, being there. And that being said, I haven't been to the beach in months. I just haven't. I just haven't. And that comes down to when you live near it. Depends on how close you live to the beach and how much you love it. So I've gone through phases. I've been to the beach so many times, and I've been to the beach so much since living in Florida. I've been down here almost 20 years. So I have no shortage of beach. I haven't been in a while, and that's because we moved to the house. There's really no reason why I haven't. It's like, well, we moved here. We moved into this house 2 years ago at this point. So it's like, could I have gone? Sure. But it's not like I have been like in a beach deficit. So, but I actually just mentioned to Mama Swolio the day before. I'm like, hey, let's go to the beach more this year. So we're going to go. But it's the kind of thing that when you're around it or you have access to it, all of a sudden it becomes less of, not that you don't want to go as much, but it's like that with many things. Once you have access to it, the novelty isn't the same. So people just get used to a lot of things. If you live in a cold climate or you live in the mountains and you go on vacation to the beach, oh my God, it's new. You're going to the beach. That's the reason why you're going on vacation. So of course you can go to the beach every fucking day. Oh my God, I love it. But it's also novelty. It's different and it's beautiful. Mountains are beautiful. Beach is beautiful. So when you're next to it or you have access to it all the time, sometimes you just tend not to go. So a lot of people live in Florida. There's a lot of Florida that isn't close to the beach. And that's what a lot of people don't understand before they move down here. So it depends on where you go in Florida. But if you're in the South Florida area and you're not on the water, you're a few miles in, it can take you half an hour. It's sometimes traffic going east to west in Florida sucks. So it depends on where you live. And then there's parking. There's just sometimes some hurdles in order to get there. Depends on where you live or where you go to the beach. But it's beautiful. I don't think it's overrated at all. It's just the kind of thing that, you know, people want to have a boat or they want to have a motorcycle or they want to have jet skis or they want to have these things. And the classic sayings. For example, buying a boat, the best days of, when you are having a boat is the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Because then you have to maintain it, you have to keep it, you have to clean it off. I don't know, like having a boat just doesn't seem like any kind of enjoyment. It just seems like more maintenance and storage and docking and cleaning and pain in the ass rather than just, filling it up. It seems like more of a pain in the ass than enjoying it. But the beach is cool because you just go, you don't need to bring anything. I used to do full days at the beach. I used to do 8 hours. I used to go all day, bring a tent. I used to do the whole thing. With the beach. So it's not like I've never been to the beach. I just haven't been in a little bit. I think it's just, not that it gets old, but you get used to it. And you also, you get a little bit, you don't appreciate things as much when they're always available. So it's important. That's why I want to go back again and reappreciate it. It's the kind of thing that if you haven't gone in a while, I go back like, oh my God, why haven't I been coming every single day? So I used to live really close, like half a mile from the beach. The apartment was like half a mile from the beach, or really close. So I'm a little bit further west, not that much. But it's just a little bit less convenient, and I've had a lot of other things to focus on. And but this year is going to be more beach. And you could love your boat. I'm not Iron Dad's like, hey, I love my boat. I'm sure you do, but I'm sure you know the saying too. And that's another thing too, because when I had my motorcycle, I want to get another one, but I didn't have a garage or anywhere really to store it. So it was like covering it, then it would get dusty, and then ants would crawl on it, and it was like maintaining it. And a lot of it was great when you're riding it, but then maintaining it was kind of a pain in the ass. It's like that with a lot of things. But in other words, you should appreciate it. Looking out the water, there's something about being like on a lake or looking out the ocean water. It's very calming and soothing, so I think you should. Uncle John, question about the closing song for your show. Name and artist. I have it pop in my head from time to time. You're very talented. How you have your third arm play. Why, why, thank you, John. I believe you're talking about the piano cock.
Because
Absolutely. After the cock spews the knowledge, then it goes into... It's very creative. It's a very creative appendage. So we talked about it recently. That's King Darius, friend of mine. Really good friend of mine, but he took his music off Spotify. I'm going to give him another boo on that one. I'm going to give him a Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
You know how creative people are. I guess he wanted to re-release everything and he wanted to organize it. A lot of creative people are more perfectionist, so I think he wanted to re-release things in a certain way. I don't know why he took it off. I kind of do, but at the same time, I do understand the frustration because his music is awesome. I love his music. I don't like a lot of music in that type of category, or rap or R&B or however you want to call it, but I love his music. I love it. So I try to play it before intros, outros, and I just use his music because if I'm going to promote anything or play anyone's songs, I don't want to use non-copyright shit. I'd rather play music for something that I like and also someone that I think is exceptionally talented and should put his fucking music back online. So drop some biceps and gorillas if you think KD should put his shit back up on Spotify. Let's fucking go. I should just blast his cell phone number. I should just blast his private cell number and everyone could just blast him, texting him. He'll just get all these fucking texts like, dude, where's that music? Where's your fucking playlist, man? I can't find your music on Spotify. We should just absolutely harass him. Yeah. Let's see. St. Pete Runner. Florida beaches are so much nicer than California. Lived in both. And warmer, too. The water is so much warmer on the East Coast. And they are nicer. Well, California is like a lot of rocks and stuff like that. I mean, you have all those areas on the beach where it's like the cliffs. You have to walk it's just weird little spots, but it's a lot safer, too. In many ways. But it's different. You know, I'm sure some people would disagree, but the beaches are great. And the cool thing about Florida is that it's just beach. It's just beach, especially like anywhere. There's just beach everywhere. So all you have to do is go east. It doesn't really matter where you are, whether in South Florida or more central. You just go east and you'll find beach. It's like the entire east coast of Florida is just beach. So you just drive north, and if there are a lot of little small beach areas, or there's once you live down in Florida, you'll know there's like the hot spot ones, the places where you have to pay, $10-20 on the weekends for parking, and they have the strips in Fort Lauderdale and all those places that people that live In Florida, they don't go. You don't go to these fucking tourist traps. So, you know, you'll find those little tiny roads and little enclaves where you have little tiny beach areas that are a little bit more quiet. And one of the things that sucks about Florida, certain areas like Sunny Isles Beach in Florida used to be a lot nicer, but once they build all the high rises, the shitty thing is, and I think they ruined it, because I used to go running down there and I used to live in that area. After like 3 o'clock, there's just all the buildings, all the condos they put on the beach. It's awful because then the beach is just covered in shadow after 3 o'clock. It's fucking disgusting. It's really gross. So you can't enjoy the beach after 3 because the beach is just completely dark, because the way the sun sets, it's just covered by all the condos. You have to like pick up your towel and stuff and move, and it's really a bummer. It's just overbuilt. But of course, you know. Let's see. Moving on. Everyone's like, some people are in a snowstorm right now. Like, yo, stop talking about the beach, man. Stop talking about the beach. Aaron, that's like me living next to all these things in the Seattle area. I don't go hike Mount Rainier all the time or visit the Space Needle or Pike Place. I save that shit for special occasions. Yeah, it's like living in New York City and going to the Statue of Liberty. Like, you just don't do it. Ooh, Kika Duarte. Greetings from your Venezuelan #1 fan. Dios mío. My first time in here, so happy. Welcome. Shout out to Venezuela. Freddie with kettlebell swings, Papa Solia. How would you program it into a strength-based program? Do it after for conditioning, for example? Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. I mean, strength training, you can, it depends. You could do it as a warm-up. You could do it as, like, let's say on a leg day, you can use it for power. You can finish off with kettlebell swings. For example, you could use it as a finisher move, kind of like as a burnout or explosive at the end of strength training workouts. That's a cool way to do it. Like on an upper body day or a chest day, you could finish up with like some clean and presses or something like that. So it really depends. I mean, how would I program it? How would I program it in? That depends on everything else of what I'm programming. So it's not like, oh, I would put it here. Well, it depends on the individual and all those types of things. That's the only thing that I still play with, because I love kettlebells, but I want the results from like bodybuilding type training. So if you want to build muscle, kettlebell training isn't always, I don't care what anyone says, it's not like the #1 thing for building muscle. It could be for power, it could be for strength. And sure, you have a lot of integrated movements and you can build muscle, of course, but it's a different type of training protocol than like focused weightlifting. And again, you could lift weights for power, you could lift weights for strength, you could lift weights for muscle hypertrophy. Depends on what the variables that you're putting on, the exposure that you're putting with your body every workout over time. So it depends. All right. Saying, Papa Solia, how much weight for calves? JK. Have you heard of sand therapy for hands, where you hand scoop sand in a tall bucket? Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Just use rice. Just get some rice, put a 10, 20, or 30 pounds of rice in like a 5-gallon bucket and open your hands, twist. You could use sand, but sand will tend to like absorb moisture. I mean, you could buy sand, but sand will like you might get like a film on your hands, or might make more of a mess than if you get rice. Same kind of thing. You could do sand if you want. Just don't do it. Just don't get sand from the beach, because you'll get like organisms and moisture and it'll smell funky and get weird. But you could buy sand at Home Depot and stuff like that. But sometimes that sand is more for building or for using on walkways, and it might be really fine and get all over your hands. And rice is really good for that. Okay, let's see. Let's take a call. We have a lot more questions, so keep on dropping them. But let's take a call because we do have a bunch of calls. I want to see if we can get through all of them. We got one from Damon. Hopefully these aren't any repeats, but Damon, you're on the line.
Hey, Papa Swole, huge fan of the show. I had a quick question here for you. I know that muscle weighs more than fat, but after hitting the gym for the last few years, I've noticed my weight has fluctuated a few pounds here and there. Is this something I should be concerned about, or just continue to hit the gym and eat healthy as is?
Good question. Kind of vague. Well, yeah, you're going to fluctuate. So if you weigh yourself every day, you're going to fluctuate a few pounds day to day, depending on your nutrition, depending on your sleep, depending on all these other types of factors. And if you're building muscle and you're causing inflammation, your body's going to retain water too. You're using water to shift nutrients around, to cleanse the body. That's why proper hydration is important. So little small fluctuations, that's why you don't want to weigh yourself all the time. Day to day fluctuations, even week to week, it's not super important. You're not going to lose fat super quickly. You're not going to, but water can fluctuate tremendously. So you can be a few pounds different day to day just because of water consumption. Like if I could easily just drink, boom, like 32 ounces of water right now. I mean, how much is this liter? How much does a liter of water weigh? Someone look up. 32 ounces of water. How much does that weigh? And just think, if I just drink that, boom, that weight is on my body. And it's not hard to drink that. It's not hard. Think about how much you'll piss out. You'll piss out a fucking liter. It depends if you have to go to the bathroom really bad. So yeah, you'll fluctuate. A liter of cola, you'll fluctuate a lot. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's more about composition, how your clothes are fitting, how your strength is improving, all those other habits. So again, when you're focusing on the 7 pillars and you're focusing on those daily executions, that will come, right? You'll build muscle, you'll lose fat. And a lot of people are lifting, hey, I want to go to the gym and I want to change my habits because I want to build muscle, because I want to lose extra body fat. But if you're thinking about lose body fat, you'll make poorer decisions. You'll lose focus on the things that are going to get you there. So building muscle is a side effect of the 7 pillars. Losing extra body fat is a side effect of the 7 pillars. So when you're focused on the 7 pillars, you get those results that you want, but you need to shift your focus like the Eye of Sauron. You have to shift it away from that end goal and focus on the things you need to do every day that will lead you there. Okay, Will, I tried barbell front squatting today for the first time, was wondering what I could do to help from the bar rolling off the front of my shoulders. How are you doing front squat? Are you doing crosshand or are you doing clean grip? So practice, you need thoracic mobility, and it's just weakness from not being able to do it. Like with the pressure, you need ankle mobility. And you need to work on your lower traps, your rhomboids, posterior rotator cuff muscles that are going to really allow thoracic extension. Excuse me. So I would do more floor cobras. I would do more prone presses. I would do more like face pulls, things of that. There's a lot of different exercises you could do to strengthen and to work on extension of the thoracic spine and work on that kind of shoulder mobility. So what you can do is you can have straps. You can use like lifting straps and tie them to the bar so you can hold it here so you can get your elbows up. So you're really looking for shoulder flexion, but it's under duress, right? It's under pressure and you're trying to strengthen the spinal, your extensors in your thoracic spine. So I don't know how heavy you went. How heavy did you try to go? What do you normally squat? And how much? A lot of times the problem is they're squatting 225 and they try to do like 135 for front squat. And you'd be shocked at how light you have to go when you start front squatting. You'll go up quicker in weight, but it's the coordination and it's the muscle synchronization that's going to be really awkward. It's like riding a bike. It's going to be awkward, not because you're weaker. You're going to have to be humbled by the weight, but it's because of the instability of riding a bike. For example, when you're younger, you practice riding a bike. Is it the strength? No, it's the coordination. So it's the coordination that really has to wake up when you're doing front squats, and then the weight will come back. But you're not going to front squat anywhere near what you back squat when you first start. Jessica, lake beaches are so different too. Here in Minnesota, you can't throw a stick without hitting a lake, and they're all so different. Yeah, I grew up going to a lake. I'm not a fan of lakes. I always used to get ear infections. Like all the time. Could have been the lake in particular, but I used to get fucking ear infections all the time. So I have like this PTSD from lakes. Plus like all the growth. You have all the fucking growth, like all the plant and it's all creepy down there, dark ass lake water. I'll take the ocean. But then you have sharks and it's like potential. Just don't go. I wouldn't go deep anymore. I used to go deep in the ocean. Now, like, no thanks. No thanks. In and out. Tyler, Papa Swole, would you recommend training weaker body parts first or last? Well, if you're trying to bring up body parts and focus on things that are lagging first, use it when you're fresh, do it when you're, or shift your programming around. Like I wouldn't necessarily do biceps before back, even if you're trying to bring up your biceps. I just wouldn't do biceps on back day, because if you do biceps after back, they're going to be fatigued if you're trying to bring up those muscles. You do them first, you're sacrificing your back workout. You're better off doing biceps on a chest day or on a separate day, or before you work chest, or, you know, in between, or on a day when you're not overloading. I mean, chest, the thing is, a lot of people don't understand how the body works. So when you're doing chest, you're also working your biceps, because your biceps cross the shoulder joints. When you're doing flies and things like that, it's working your biceps, it's working your shoulder flexors. You know, the biceps stabilize the shoulder and provide strength. So that's why a lot of people hurt their biceps, or they hurt their shoulder doing chest, and it's not their rotator cuff or their shoulder. It's actually their biceps tendon. So yeah, I mean, if you're trying to bring up body parts, you want to prioritize them, but it's not just in the workout, it's prioritizing them in your programming. So if you're trying to bring up certain body parts, you should work your program around those things, right? You don't want them to be an afterthought. Anything you want to focus on more, your program should put more of a spotlight on training that when you're fresh and more frequently. And, you know, your focus should be on that. Yeah, Aaron, I love kettlebells, but I also love to smash heavy weights. I'm the same way. I love doing kettlebells, but you're not going to build the same type of muscle. You're not going to build the same muscle belly and get the same hypertrophy with kettlebells. But at the same time, kettlebells can help tremendously. Like I always said, I keep on saying, train with clubs, steel clubs, wood clubs. Training with clubs before you go to maces. Training with clubs will help you with your kettlebell swings. You want to improve your grip? You want to improve your kettlebell stuff? Clubs. Not kettlebells before clubs. Do clubs, and it'll help you with your kettlebell, help you with your grip, it'll help you with all that stuff. I found tremendous benefits from the club just translates to everything. But heavyweight, like, it's great. I just think kettlebells are more, it depends on what your goals are. And I do think kettlebells are fantastic, but I couldn't just do a program where it's just all kettlebells. I did that for a while when we were still in the apartment. I was doing mostly kettlebell work, and it's totally fine. It's totally great. I use that more as a seasoning. I use that more as like maybe a warm up or mobility. So yesterday I just did some mobility. So I grabbed like a 35-pound kettlebell, and I'm doing bends. I'm doing Cossack squats. So I love that. Kettlebells are great for mobility, or I'll use them for, maybe I'll feel in the mood for doing kettlebell swings. So I'll do that on a leg day and really fry the glutes and the posterior chain. So there's a lot of great benefits to kettlebells for sure. Will, you do cross hand. So front squat with your hands like that. I tried the bar over my wrist, but the cross hand was more comfortable. I normally back squat 155, so I only stayed at 95. Yeah, it's probably too heavy. So if you back squat 155, I don't know for how many reps. And what'd you feel? You felt you're rounding forward, it was falling? It's too heavy. Drop it down to like, you're going to feel, it's going to be humbling, but drop it, put like a 10 on each side, or 15. It'd be like 65. You might feel like a pussy. Oh, everyone's going to look at me. Try that and just watch like your form. It's also ankle mobility too. So you can elevate your heels a little bit for front squat. And front squat usually takes people that have longer femurs and people that are leaning too far forward. Honestly, you want to be able to stay upright with a back squat. Squats should hit more of the quads, not the glutes. So front squats are great for people that are tall, that are awkward, because front squat, because the weight is distributed to the front, you are able to stay more upright with your back. So it's less pressure on your lower back. It's more focus on the quads. But if you don't have good mobility and you're leaning forward as you're getting started with front squats, if you're really tight with the thoracic spine or the ankles, try putting your heels up on 2.5-pound plates or 5-pound plates. It's similar to doing a back squat, but a front squat, you'll be like, oh, you'll be vertical and you won't have that falling forward. And then you could transition out of that. So try elevating your heels slightly for a front squat, and then you'll see what it should feel like and where you should be heading. Good questions today, fam. We're on fire. All right. Round of applause. Let's go little Tainty Man too. Little Tainty Man. No church today, but there he is. That is the Tainty Man. Let's take another call. This one's from Jace or JC. Jace.
Could you make a series of you telling people to work out or go to sleep in different languages other than Spanish? Like Portuguese, Farsi, Japanese, Chinese, you can use Google Translate. That'd be pretty funny.
Cheers. I appreciate the support and call. You must be new here or not look at any of my content. So yes, I can go to the fucking gym. We've done it in Portuguese, done it in French, done it in Spanish, done it in Portuguese, French, Italian. Actually, we have a few other languages that are going to be posting probably tomorrow night and the next day. So, yep. And Google Translate sucks for a lot of these things because I'm not just saying go exercise. You should take better care of your health. I'm saying go to the fucking gym. So I want to make sure I get the slang. And a lot of times the translate's not going to be accurate with that. But yes, thank you. Thank you for the request. But check out the videos. How do you haven't seen any of the, this is actually a good thing. So here's why we're always posting a lot of content. But I've been posting a lot of content because the theory is, for me, especially on TikTok, I'm posting like a bunch of different language videos in a day, that if I post a Spanish video, yeah, a lot of people in the United States and people that speak English are going to see it, but it's going to mostly go viral or get spread around people that speak Spanish in those countries. So that the TikTok algorithm will notice people that are commenting in Spanish, and it'll pick up on the language, and it'll pick up on those who are engaging with it, and it'll segment to that audience. So I'm testing that by posting many more videos in different languages and seeing like, oh, they're all getting a lot of views. And it just shows that the algorithm is very savvy with delivering the language videos to those people that are going to share it. And people that speak English mostly aren't going to be seeing all the different language videos, especially as the algorithm and the audience starts tracking to those videos. So you might not, if you speak Spanish, or if that caller spoke Spanish, you might not see the Italian one because you don't speak Italian. And these apps know the language that is being spoken. Because don't forget, when you're on Instagram and you're scrolling Instagram, think about this, or you're on TikTok, how often do you see Spanish videos? Anyone? Or Instagram? You don't see them. Do they have Instagram in France and Italy and Germany? Yeah, of course. But you're not seeing all those because you don't speak that language. They know your location, where your device is. If you're always on German Instagram, they're going to show you more German Instagram because maybe you speak German, but you have to go seek it out. And they know you're in the United States. So most people in the United States aren't going to want to be on German Talk or German IG. So, you have to go and look for it. So I'm doing it in these different languages, but it just goes to show that this person hasn't seen the Portuguese. I've been posting it. So wherever he's seeing the videos, I've been posting a lot of Portuguese videos, but maybe he doesn't speak Portuguese, so he's not seeing that. Which is interesting because I've been posting a shitload of them. So it just goes to show that the theory was accurate. So it's like, how many videos can I post in a day that doesn't overload this? It's like, there's 7.5 billion people. I should probably be posting 20 fucking videos a day in every single language. But we'll see. Let's see. Saiyan Zero, humor question. Oh, great. Can't wait. Would you rather massage one of these bigger persons in balls deep or let Mike Tyson deck you? I would rather massage one of these bigger persons in balls deep for 24 straight hours than let Mike Tyson deck me. Why would I want permanent fucking brain damage? That's a stupid fucking question in that sense. Absolutely massage one of these fat activists. I'm not saying it's going to be pleasurable. It's going to be a horrifying experience.
Emotional damage.
Then just like let him here. Mike Tyson knock me the fuck. It could literally kill me. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. All right, John. John, you're on the line. Thanks for calling in. Oh, by the way, for everyone that doesn't know, askpapaswolio.com. Call in to the show. You can call in any day. We'll get to an upcoming episode.
Do you have to take a rest day in between workouts?
All right, John, thanks for the call. Rest day. I always like to say, where's this rest muscle and how do you train it? Yow. Where's the rest muscle? Yow. You don't have a rest muscle. Yow. So the answer is no, but the answer is also yes. Let me explain. Rest days are bullshit. Just like I don't feel like training, you should be doing it every day. However, rest day, no. Active recovery, absolutely. So does that mean you should be lifting heavy every day? Of course not. So I don't take any days off, but it doesn't mean that I'm lifting fucking weights. I'm not doing kettlebells every day. I'm not doing barbell every day. I'm not doing I don't know, hardcore fucking like heavy fucking club work. I might do light club. Let's say I'm really like sore and like, oh, I'm just going to swing a 10-pound club for 20 minutes. That's still training. That's active recovery. I'll go for a walk with Rufus for an hour. That's still active recovery. So rest day, no. Rest day is like a cheat day. No. You don't need a fucking rest day, but you should be putting in effort to actively recover. So training does not mean overloading your body and trying to hit a PR and maxing out. So rest days, no. Active recovery, yes. Dan, you're not waking up from Mike Tyson decking you. Haven't you seen The Hangover? You're not waking up. Talk like that's literally Mike Tyson. That's literally the definition of night. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. Jack Johnson. All right. In the Daily Swole Telegram chat, like the Jack Johnson. Hey, Pop, I'm a police officer who currently works overnights, and I've been lifting at the gym before work and trying to incorporate more mobility during my, quote, on-duty workout in the middle of the night. Any specific advice as far as mobility and yoga to help alleviate stiff lower back and hips? I keep practicing. What I will say is that if you're doing yoga, yoga isn't mobility. Like there's crossover. There's a whole like spiritual and there's a whole, I mean, yoga is such a large blanket statement, but mobility training. So go into the masterclass section and check out the ankle, knee, and hip mobility masterclasses. So you want to also do strength training through a full range of motion. So if you're practicing yoga, fantastic. I always say yoga because people can look up yoga, go to a yoga class, and it'll open their eyes to a lot of new things. It's easier than being like, hey, take this weight, pause here, giving someone a corrective exercise routine or mobility routine. They're much less likely to do it than just, let me just do a yoga class. So I would recommend checking out the that kind of strength training through a full range of motion, like Jefferson curls, deep yoga squats, doing sissy squats and tib raises and all these different things that will activate and strengthen the muscles around these joints. You want to have all the muscles around your ankle and foot complex strong. You want to have the muscles that cross the knee joint, because a lot of them cross the knee joint and the hip joint. You want them strong and lengthened. You don't want to just stretch, because then they're going to go back and snap back to your normal movement patterns. So you want to make sure you're strengthening them through the full range. You want to get all the way to the tendons and to the ligaments over time, lightweight mobility. So I would start there. Because once you improve the strength on all sides of the joint, it's going to alleviate all the tension. And it's going to mitigate your risk of injury. It's just win. Hashtag Swole Privilege. Thank you for your service. America. The Swole Blue Line, baby. All right, little tainty man. There we go. Some more taint.
I got hairy legs.
Yes, he does. Hey, Joe, you and my dog both have hairy legs.
Come on, man.
You got hairy legs. All right, we got a call from Ren. You're at Ren. You're on the Sleazecast. It's been a while.
Hello, most wonderful man. It is Ren here. I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that I've learned from you from the months that I was a member. I'm very grateful to you and appreciate everything you do, and just keep up the good work, my friend, and take care of yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Ren. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you called in. I'm so glad you called in. It's been a while. Miss you. I want to know what's up with you. So I really appreciate it. Love the accent, and yeah, show up on the live stream or, send us a message. Would love to have you back in the fam. So thank you for calling in, and you're more than welcome, more than you ever know. Really appreciate you calling in to let me know that. We miss you. We miss you, Ren. We miss you. I saw the name and it's like, well, there's only one. There's only one that I know. Be surprised if it was someone different. I was expecting that accent too. We got a call here from Angel. Let's see. Let's take another call. Angel, you're on the line. Ask Papa Swolio.
Papa Swolio, I just came from the gym this evening and was curious, what's the best pre-workout and post-workout protein that you take that I can take so I can get swole faster.
Well, no one gets swole fast, so get that thought out of your mind. Bull milk is the best post-workout. Absolute fresh bull milk. You won't find anything better. Now, in those videos where I'm drinking the bull milk, it's actually kefir. So I make my own raw milk kefir. But it's bull milk. I call it bull milk. Pre-workout, just some black coffee. I mean, I'm not a big fan of all the other stimulants. You can mix your own in terms of the active ingredients like citrulline malate or agmatine and beta-alanine. I would just get those. If you want to take those things, like citrulline malate's a great supplement. There's a bunch of them that you can take, electrolytes. You don't need the flavored stuff. You don't need all the extra stimulant. Just some black coffee is fantastic. You don't need a lot of it if you get quality sleep. You know, it's going to come down to the nutrition, but there's no magic like protein. I would just be everyone's different. Everyone's at a different level of their understanding of how food impacts their body. But for me, I don't like consuming, if I have any kind of protein, if it's going to be a powder protein, it's going to be grass-fed whey protein isolate. But, you know, having raw milk kefir for me has been a game changer because you do want to eat after a workout in general. A lot of people are hungry. And right after a workout, a lot of you might agree, you don't want to sit down and just eat like a big fucking meal. Sometimes you can. But sometimes right after a workout, your sympathetic nervous system's still turned on. You don't feel like stuffing your face with a big meal. You want something that can absorb. You're thirsty more than hungry, but you want those nutrients and you want those, you know, the protein in order to start like repairing and, you know, resatisfying your body and get those nutrients in after a workout. But you don't want to sit down and just have a heavy meal. You might want to have that in like an hour or two, or you might not be able to eat right now because you're driving home in the car. You didn't prepare your meals or whatever it is. So I like the raw milk kefir because, again, when you make kefir, the lactose is broken down and you're getting fats and proteins. And yeah, you can make an argument, fat, oh, you shouldn't have fat right after a workout. It's great. I love it right after a workout because it's it's a ready-made protein. I don't need to mix protein powder and water and shit like that. I just have raw fucking dairy with all the amazing vitamins and minerals and protein and straight from the toro. You know what I'm saying? Straight from the toro. All right. Thanks for the call. Let's see. Frank, I found kefir in blueberry flavor from Lifeway Dairy. What is your opinion on flavored kefir? It depends on how it's flavored. Like, I don't know what Lifeway Dairy is. You really just don't want it to be pasteurized or ultra pasteurized. You got to be careful. And what the source of the milk is and the dairy. You can do fruit in kefir. So you can ferment the kefir, and then after you ferment it for like 24 hours or whatever, you can put some fruit in and then cover it again for a few more hours. It's called like a second fermentation. So you could ferment the fruit and ferment that further. I think it just that allows the kefir grains or the bacteria in the kefir to further break down the sugar in the fruit. So, because the bacteria have to consume, they have to eat. That's why they're feeding on the lactose, the milk sugar, and they break it down so it's easier to digest. Same thing with the fruit. I just don't do it. I just have it straight. But you can. So flavored kefir or adding fruit to your kefir. So you can experiment with stuff like that. But you just don't want to make sure that they're adding like artificial flavorings or sugar and stuff like that, like extra stuff. It's an interesting position, bro. That's an interesting. That's interesting.
I give it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
Very interesting. Someone asked recently about putting honey in kefir. And of course, that's a great combo taste-wise, but I have my concerns in general about adding honey because honey has natural antibacterial properties. So if you're adding honey or raw honey to your kefir, it might neutralize the probiotics in the kefir. And it doesn't mean that's going to harm you, but if I'm drinking kefir, it's for all the benefits. So I would keep an eye on maybe doing stuff like that, like adding honey, just because of the natural antibacterial properties of honey. You don't want to, negate some of the benefits from the kefir. He's really just going to hold that, right? He's just going to hold that? He's just going to stay there. Just that's it. That's what we're gonna do. So that's what we're doing. What are you looking at me for? What are you looking at me for? You're like wide awake too, dude. You're going. Just bring that shit back around. Aww. Okay. All right. Great. Let's take this last call, and we have time for maybe one or two more questions or follow up. Jair, you're on the fucking line. Jair.
Hey, Papa Swolio. How's it going, man? Here I have a situation that, I was bulking like for 3 months and I gained a little bit of fat. Now I'm moving alone because I'm leaving my house, but I don't have like a lot of money and like to buy like whey protein or other things like that. So I would like to know which are your recommendations on getting like cheap protein to not lose my gains that I did in the bulking. Because right now, as I don't have that much money, I think it's a nice time to cut since I gained a little bit of fat. So I would like to know like which are like cheap source of protein that you recommend me for my cutting. And when I don't have any money. Thank you, man. You're the best.
Well, thanks for the question. And one of the things you want to be careful of. A lot of times people bulk or they think they bulk and they just get fat and they gain fat and then they cut and they lose fat. They're not really building as much muscle as they think. So the number one thing is protein. Protein's going to cost you the most. So that's why you're asking this. But in general, food, you could buy white rice and sweet potatoes. What I mean, 5-10 pound bag of white rice, couple bucks, sweet potatoes, $70 cents, $1 a pound. Protein is where it's going to cost you. So of course, my first choice, bison, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, definitely more expensive. But below that, get yourself just beef. It might not be grass-fed, but it's still a better choice than soy patties, for example. Eggs I know are expensive. I don't know where you live or where you're coming from, so they may or may not be expensive for you, or you might be able to find different deals. I'll give you a couple other ideas also. Sardines, those are things that you might find for a better price. But I would focus on those, like that source, for example. I don't know if you have access to raw dairy, but what you can do when it comes to beef, any kind of beef, and I would say this probably goes for any country, right? If you go to a butcher or you go to a supermarket, and most people don't do this, which is why it's a good idea. And the worst case scenario, they say, oh no, we don't have anything, or no, not at this time. Okay. You're in the same spot. You go and you ask, hey, I'm trying to buy, some beef in bulk, and I don't have a lot of money. Do you have any beef or do you have any, X, Y, and Z that is maybe, closer to expiration that you're not putting out on the shelf that I can buy at a discount? You can ask. The worst thing that they can say is no, because sometimes they're not going to have something. A lot of times when it comes to beef, legally, they have to have put a certain date on them, or it'll be a best buy date. And if today is, let's just say today's March 1st, if it says sell by March 1st and it's March 1st or 2nd, they're going to take it off the shelf, and sometimes they're going to throw it out back, or they're going to remove it from the shelf because people aren't going to buy it, and or it's a risk for them to sell it because they legally can't X, Y, and Z. But it doesn't mean that it's bad. So a lot of times you can maybe get access to some food in bulk that might be a couple days to expiration. It's not really expired. It's just what they have to label it as because of when they received it or when it was packaged or whatever. And then you can put it in the freezer and then it'll stay for months. So yeah, Costco buying in bulk is great. Maybe you can get together with a friend and be like, hey, let's buy this in bulk and then split it. Because maybe if you buy 50 packs of beef, it's cheaper. But if you don't have a lot of money, you might not have enough up front, depending on your cash flow situation. But I mean, of course, grass-fed is a first choice, but then you can go grain-fed. Grain-fed is still better than sucking down, just eating beans and rice and shit like that. So it depends on where you live, really. But again, I don't care where you live. I'm sure you can go to a butcher. I'm sure you can go and ask, do you have any like surplus or beef that you're not selling, or that may be closer to an expiration that I can freeze or use and purchase at a discount? That's not. I just think you can ask, because a lot of times, and you've seen that, right? People that dumpster dive outside supermarkets because they'll just throw out food, or some of the employees will take something home. But like, think about it. If you're a smaller butcher shop and you have some meat that maybe isn't selling, you could either, one, throw it out, or two, sell it at 50% off and recoup some of your. The only thing that can happen that's, if they say no, then you're in the same spot. At least you asked. Yeah, there you go. Or they'll tell you, hey, if you come back, like, oh no, we do that, let's say the last Tuesday of every month, or every Tuesday we put out new beef. So like, let's say they get a shipment, because every supermarket's different and distributor is different. So they'll have deliveries on these days. So they might get a delivery and then move out the old produce. That's why when you see produce or beef, sometimes you'll see, oh, buy 2, get 1 free, or buy 3, get 1 free, or buy 1, get 1 half off. It's because they're trying to move product. They haven't sold it as quickly as they should, or they overbought. So they have to run a discount in order to, move it before it's unsellable. So there might be a certain day like, oh no, but come back on Mondays, because on Monday we change out the beef or whatever like that. And we usually have a bunch of a surplus. You come back on Mondays around 2:00, then we'll, we can sell you like, the stuff that we take off the shelf, because we get deliveries every Monday. Like, okay, cool. And then you go back Monday at 2:00. Just ask. El Guapo, who braids your hair? If it's you, can you make a how-to video? Yeah, fuck that shit. I love how people in the videos are saying like, oh, I love your hair. Do you do that yourself? No. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. One, I don't have the patience for that shit. And two, I got like 10 thumbs. I'll be like, no. Mama Swolio was like, I can teach you to braid your hair. No, I don't want to. I'm not going to. No, I don't want to. So no, I don't. Mama Swolio can do it. And also the girl that I go to, it's at the same salon. She does my beard. Mama Swolio can do my beard, but I just go to a friend of hers, and it's easier for her to do it. She's like fucking awesome. She does my beard. She shaves. She'll braid my hair after. I usually go every 2 weeks. I think this month, it's going to be a month, because I think she's busy. But yeah, Mama Swolio or my beard girl. All right, good questions. And thanks for calling, Hire. I think that hopefully you got a lot of value out of that answer. I just think a lot of people don't ask. And I think this is also because I haven't worked at a supermarket, but I've worked at delis, like when I was in high. Like, when you don't work at any of these places, you don't understand how it works behind the scenes, because they have to order X amount. They have to place orders. And of course, this is, the difference between a good produce manager. Like, if you're overbuying certain things that aren't selling, and that's why you always see them walking around with a clipboard and say, oh, these items are selling frequently, let's order more. But you got to be careful not to order too many, because let's say, I don't know, kiwis are selling like crazy, but maybe there's a holiday or a certain thing that goes on every year where people buy a lot of kiwis, and you're like, oh, kiwis are selling like crazy. So then you buy 10 times the kiwis, and then it's after that holiday, and all of a sudden you have like $1,000 of kiwis just rotting. So they'll be like, hey, buy 5 for $1. And it's like a flash sale for kiwis or something like that. And they're all like shriveled and flies are around them because they buy too much. So the same thing happens with beef. And most any like supermarket, but especially the smaller ones, like the smaller mom, and if you have access to like a mom and pop place, they're much more personable and much more willing to make a deal or to hook you up if you are just being nice about it and asking. Like, again, ask. The worst thing that can happen is they say, no, we don't have anything like that, or no, we don't do that. We're not able to do that. And you're like, okay, and you go somewhere else. But once you find a good hookup, then you could be set. But I know a lot of people that will have like a Best By date, and I've seen it. They have like garbage bags full of food from like the supermarket, and they put it in a deep freezer, and it keeps for months. Billy says or asks, is grass-fed lamb a good alternative for beef if not available? Yeah, lamb's good. Lamb is very good. Good question. Lamb's definitely a good option. Good question. You know what I really do appreciate, fam? Like, we have not had to delve into Instagram questions in like a few days. The live questions have been fire, and the call-ins have been awesome. So make sure you keep on calling in. I'll bring that up on the screen again in case you don't know, and most of you know already. AskPapaSwolio.com. I talk about it enough. Submit a question, call anytime, and the beauty of that is it could be 3 a.m. and you record a question, and we'll get to an upcoming episode. So if you're unable to catch it live and you're driving all the time, but then when you're driving home at night, you can ask a question the day before, and then on your way home from the office or something like that, in your commute, you listen to the podcast and we cover your question. So it's a great way to submit a question and catch it in an upcoming episode. Oh my God, great questions. It's been nice. It's been really nice. And if you don't know, sometimes it's just Instagram, just because of the limits of the characters, it's just a high chance for the Instagram questions is like playing Russian roulette with 4 in the chamber. It's a Stone Fit. Forge a personal relationship with a rancher. Give them repeat business. They will almost always add extra. Mine gives me extra for free every time. Well, that's great. You know, that depends on, that's just a general good message. In other words, a local person. So I don't know where Jair is. Jair is, that's like Brazilian. I don't know if that's just Portuguese, but it sounds like, I don't know where he's living. But if you have access to like, look, a small, like, add extra, free liver, extra liver for free. Yeah. I mean, if you have a relationship, if you can buy in bulk, the thing is a lot of people that don't have a lot of money to buy food, it's kind of like the catch-22, right? You don't have a lot of money to buy food. Like, okay, what's the best deal? What's the best deal? And then you might not have a few $100 up front to get the deal on the bulk. That's the whole point, right? So yeah, it's like watching that scene in Deer Hunter. Mow! 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 If you don't know, if you don't know Deer Hunter, go get fucking civilized. Go get civilized. Mow! One of the best scenes in cinematic history. Fucking traumatizing. That scene's so fucking intense. If you've never seen that movie, not a light watch. So set aside 3 or 4 hours and prepare yourself for emotional damage. Let's see. Anne, YouTube sent me a request to review your show yesterday. All right, wait, tell me more about this. I gave it 5 stars and said it was enjoyable and informative. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. YouTube sent me a request to review your show yesterday. Has anyone else received that? What was it like? And I'm just curious from an algorithmic business standpoint. I've never received a request to review. Are we doing that now are they trying to move more into like the podcast universe in terms of having features like Spotify and Apple Podcast? Has anyone else ever gotten like a review request? I've never seen that even from, like, I follow a couple on a different account. I follow a couple podcasts and I've never received a review request. So it was like a star prompt. Like, hey, was it like, hey, do you have a minute to take a survey, or did it just pop up when you clicked on it? Or was it something and that they sent you, was it when you clicked on the show, or was it just like you were doing other things and it's like, hey, review the Daily Swole? Or were you clicking on the podcast and it popped up when you loaded it up? Curious. Pandemonium says, I've received requests before in other videos, usually asks if you like it, want to see more, etc. I just never saw the stars. I've seen that. Like, hey, would you want to see more? What are your thoughts about this content? Or, hey, what do you think about this ad, right? Tyler says they're canceling people. That's what it sounds like. Like, hey, do you like this? No? All right, fuck this guy. Delete your podcast. It came on my YouTube page. It was a pop-up. It's in the feed. Huh. It was right after the stream was over. Interesting. I appreciate it. I appreciate the review and I appreciate the info. I mean, that's good. That's good that they don't ask right away. Because if it's some fat acceptance person, they load up the podcast. What do you think of this show? The show sucks. He's a bigot. Meh, meh. But it was at the end. If you're watching this show to the end, you like the show. No one's going to hate watch an hour and a half of this kind of insanity. Right? No one's watching an hour and a half. No,
You can
no one's
be
hate
fat
watching
and
an
be
hour and a half.
healthy. I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
Right? Like, when's the last time you watched like a show that you hate for an hour and a half? Like, you just don't do it. That's the cool thing about podcasts. It's like there's so much content, there's so much time. It's much harder or much less realistic to censor a podcast. Not that you can't, but just the fact that there's so much content, there's so much context. You can take a clip. Most people are aware that the clip can be out of context. And, you know, when it's not like a 30-second video that someone's saying something offensive. You're like, oh my God, I don't like that. You're going to have to scroll through an hour and a half. And most people don't do that for shit they don't like. Let's see. Billy, what are some methods to source eggs from pasture-raised chickens? You can Google it. There's some farms that ship pasture-raised chickens, soy and corn-free. You can get your own chickens. We're going to get our own hens. I don't know how many. How many of you have chickens? We have some people we know. I want to get some chickens. I want to get like a few. Like 6 to 12 or something like that. So we can talk more chickens if anyone has any suggestions or advice. But yeah, I'm looking to do some of that. Just want to have a few. It'd be fun. I've had chickens before. We had them growing up for a little bit. But it's good to have your own source of food too. Chickens are cool. So methods to source eggs. Look around local Google. Like type in local, like even in Google, because it'll take your location, like local pasture raised eggs. And you might be able to find a farm or a distributor. Dogs will have fun with those. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And also, you know, having chickens and butterflies and caterpillars, not a good combo. So we gotta have to keep them away, fence them off and stuff like that. Tyler, Papa Swolio, are people wrongfully ignorant to censor themselves or others for no really at all? Yo,
I have
what?
nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Are people wrongfully ignorant to censor themselves or others for no really at all? Yo, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Tyler. I don't know what you were trying to ask. Maybe I know the typo. For no reason at all. For no reason wrongfully. I still don't understand. Even with your correction, I still don't know what you're trying to ask. Are people wrongfully ignorant? I mean, I don't even know if that's a phrase. Can you be wrongfully ignorant? Is that even a thing? I mean, you could be ignorant wrongfully. I mean, if you're ignorant to something, then how can you be wrong if you just never had the opportunity to know something? Because ignorant doesn't mean stupid. People use it as that kind of derogative, but like, I'm ignorant about painting in many ways. I'm ignorant about building a wall. I'm ignorant about rock climbing. Ignorant just means like unknowledgeable. It doesn't mean stupid. So ignorant is just like not knowing. Doesn't mean that like I guess wrongfully. I mean, you could be like, I guess, like you could be actively ignorant, like voluntarily. Like, I'm not learning about that. No, I don't want to know about that. But it's like almost like neglectfully ignorant. I don't think wrongfully ignorant's a thing. Tyler just making shit up. Maybe there is, I don't know. It just seems like a strange wording. Oh shit, StoneFit, depending on where you live, farmers markets or Craigslist. Stone over here is fucking buying beef off Craigslist. Holy shit, that's intense. StoneFit buying eggs, and you know you live in North Dakota when you're buying eggs or beef off Craigslist. Woo! Oof, that sounds like the beginning to a horror movie. It's like you live in New York City. Fresh eggs. 115th and Johnson Street. It's like, yeah, no. Pastured eggs. Pastured eggs, motherfucker. Dark yolks. I'm not yoking around. Got some Harlem eggs. Pass. Craigslist. Craigslist beef. Craigslist beef. It's a good way to get murdered. Cerny says Stonefit is wrongfully ignorant. No. Stonefit says literally, though, driving out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm just saying North Dakota. Like literally Fargo. It's like a horror movie, like a Coen Brothers movie. Farm fresh eggs. Off exit 125. It's like Jeepers Creepers. You just fucking pass the farm, and that guy in like the robe is just like the trench coat just fucking flies after you or some shit. Jeff, some are trying to make beef a black market item. Yeah, you know, this is like, it's funny, but it's also not funny. It's like true. Like they're trying to ban beef and get rid of beef and all that stuff. All right. Anyway, Stone, if we don't hear from you, if we don't see you on the podcast for a couple of weeks, we know that you got some, you became the beef. Stone went to get pasture raised eggs, some beef liver, just never returned. So we'll keep an eye out. So if we don't see Stonefit, we know he check the ads on Craigslist. It's gonna be like an SVU episode. Okay, let's give away this card. Swole Privilege. Fuck yeah! All right. Here we go. Let's give away today's Swole card. Raffle it off, Falcon. Take it away. We'll see you tomorrow at the accountability meeting. Be shice. The Craigslist Beef Cartel. Ooh. Oh, it's going to get intense. Rest in beef. Rest in beef. Scrolling. Do we got one? Ooh, just missed it. 1, 2, 3. Scroll. A 0. One more time. Falcon, pick me a winner. The beef cartels. Eat that meat. 3, 2. Oh, we got one. Oh, we got a winner. Get some Swole Privilege. Freddie Craven in the casa. What up, beef? Oh, Freddie boy, you got a Swole card coming for you. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2487 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations, Freddie. Very nice. Super sweet. We'll take some soundboard requests and the world famous piano cock. It's coming right up.
I didn't know they stacked shit that
It's coming
high.
right up. Get it? Coming right up. Oh.
How dare you?
Oh, I dare. Daddy dares.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
Daddy dares. I do. Who's got that soundboard request? Come on, don't be shy. Well, thank you, Jessica. Lit show today. It was lit. Yeah, we've been on fire lately. Absolute fire. Absolute fire.
You made me happy.
Your father was a woman.
I got you, fam. I got you.
Emotional damage.
My name's Forrest Gump.
Oh.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Hadouken!
do you one better. Undefeated.
How shall we fuck off, oh Lord? Fuck yeah!
There's Tiny Tuck, Typical Tuck, Total Tuck, and the Tyrannical Tuck.
Sand! Sand! Sand!
Great Scott!
Shut up, bitch!
Here we go. Ooh. That was big. Coast to coast. Ooh, it was a little hard on that one. I'm getting some tendonitis whipping that hog out. Fam, thank you so much for being here. It is absolutely time to go make some sick fucking gains. Go eat a steak. Go to the fucking gym. Do all that kind of stuff. Make sure you call in. AskPapaSwolio.com tomorrow. Again, swolenormoussex.com. Join the fam today. Tomorrow is our accountability meeting, so we will not be live. We will publicly. Yo, fam. Most of you listening are members. We will be live, but for members, live every day. But Monday is Swole Fam Day. It's our Swole Fam accountability meeting every week at 12 noon Eastern time. If you're missing out on the accountability meetings, one, that's your fucking fault. Two, you could solve that problem by joining the fam today and be there tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. We'll have some knowledge cock on the audio cast, so you'll still get your fill. You get some Swolosophy, so make sure you listen to that too. And we'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. All right, Beaches? Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid, that's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Our topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element.